Hey, what's up guys, it's Francis. Welcome back to the channel. On this video, we're going to be comparing the different Cardano staking rates between various cryptocurrency exchanges such as Binance, Nexo, Kraken, Crypto.com, and also we're going to compare it to the typical rates that you'll find in staking pools such as when staking your Cardano via Daedalus, Yori Wallet, or Ada Lite. Again, they made videos on how to stake your Cardano between these three decentralized wallets, so definitely check those videos out if you want to learn more. But in this video, I mainly want to focus on the staking benefits on staking your Cardano using exchanges versus the decentralized way. Alright guys, before we get started, I would definitely appreciate it if you guys give me a thumbs up below. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. One of the biggest exchanges that we have right now in the world today is going to be Binance. So with Binance, you actually have three different options for staking, which is lock staking, meaning you have to lock up your Cardano for a certain number of days in order to get the yield. So for Binance, as we see here, if you lock up your Cardano for 90 days, you get an 8.38% yield. So I'll tell you guys right now firsthand that 8.3% yield is actually fairly high. So that's really good in terms of staking yields. It's going to be hard to find via staking pools using the decentralized way. But the caveat is right now, as you guys can see, a lot of people are using this 90-day method to stake their Cardano, and as a result, there's no more room. It's sold out pretty much. So pretty much the next best option for staking your Cardano using Binance is going to be the 60-day rate, the 60-day lockup. So meaning you have to lock up your Cardano for 60 days. So that rate is going to be 7.79% Cardano. So it's actually still fairly high in my opinion compared to staking pools. Now, the final option for Binance, if you don't want to lock up your Cardano for 60 days, final option is going to be to lock it up for 30 days and you'll still get 5%. And again, the minimum staking requirement for Binance is 188, which is fairly good. Assuming that most staking pools, on average, I've seen staking pools have minimum staking rates of roughly 1,000 Cardano. It's fairly hard to find a pretty decent pool that have staking minimums of roughly 188. So in terms of staking minimums, Binance is really awesome. All right, so next exchange that we have is going to be via Nexo. So if we scroll down to Nexo, I currently actually am trying to verify my Nexo account right now, so I'm not able to deposit Cardano right now. But in terms of Nexo, so the base rate for Nexo is actually 4%. So 4% base rate, but if you choose to get paid in Nexo tokens, which is their governance token, their main tokens in their platform, you get an extra 2% bonus with that. So if you consider that and you get paid via Nexo, you'll actually get a rate of roughly 6% when it comes to Nexo. But if you choose to get paid in meaning if you deposit Cardano, you get paid in Cardano, you'll only get 4%. So, in terms of Nexo, it's only going to be worth it, in my opinion, if you choose to get paid in Nexo. Now, it says here that you can get paid up to 8% if you deposit Cardano, but that's only if you increase your loyalty level, which I believe for most of us, it's not really worth it to increase our loyalty level, because for most people, having the base loyalty level is sufficient enough. Because in order to increase your loyalty level in Nexo, pretty much majority of your portfolio has to be in Nexo. And for most of us, a lot of us carry mainly Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, pretty much the big three. So it's going to be very hard for majority of us to have majority of our portfolio in Nexo. So given that idea, it's really going to be hard to get this max rate of 8%. So if that's you and you hold a lot of your portfolio in Nexo, then you might be able to get that base rate of 8%. But that means that you don't really have a lot of Cardano in your portfolio. Your portfolio mainly consists of Nexo. In terms of lockups for Nexo actually does have lockups. Again, I haven't really played around with Nexo too much. I can't really tell you guys the rules for lockup, but Nexo does have lockup requirements. All right, so let's move on to Kraken. So Kraken, the cool thing about Kraken is you can unstake instantly, so meaning there are no lockups. So for Kraken, the staking rate for Cardano is 4 to 6%, and the minimum ADA required is actually less than what's required for Binance, which is 1 ADA. So in terms of minimums, it's pretty much negligible. So any amount of Cardano you have, you're able to stake that and earn a yield of up to 4 to 6%. So in terms of getting paid for Kraken, you actually get paid twice a week for Kraken. So next up, we're going to be looking at Crypto.com. So Crypto.com I'm actually familiar with because I currently have majority of my Cardano and Crypto.com, which I'll probably be changing that. I'll either stake my Cardano in Nexo, or I might just go the decentralized way and putting it in a staking pool in a decentralized platform such as Daedalus. For Crypto.com, you're actually have to stake your Cardano, up to 3 months. So if you choose the 3-month option for staking Cardano, you get the maximum rate. So let's take a look at Cardano for 3 months in Crypto.com. So as you guys can see here, 3 months for Cardano is roughly 3%. And if you go down and only stake your Cardano for 1 month, so a 30-day lockup, that rate is going to be, that didn't get updated. 1 second. Let's see if that gets updated. So if we change it to 1 month, as you guys can see, your Cardano rate will only be 2%. So for Crypto.com, if you get paid flexible, your rate will only be 1%, guys. So as you guys can see, that for Crypto.com compared to other exchanges like Binance, Nexo, and Kraken, so Crypto.com actually is fairly low when it comes to exchange rate staking. So let's actually take a look to see if we have the 40,000 CRO required to stake your Cardano. So as you guys can see here, if you have 40,000 CRO or more, if you have the ICY card or the rose gold, you actually get a 2% bonus. So with that, you get 5% staking yield, which in my opinion, even with the absolute max of CRO requirement of 40,000 CROs, it still doesn't compete with Kraken, which you're able to get a pretty decent rate of 46%, as well as Nexo, where you're able to get a 4 to 6% rate, and Binance can easily outperform that. Even the 30-day staking for Binance can yield you 5%. So, in my opinion, in terms of staking Cardano, Crypto.com is probably my least favorite, even though I do love the platform. I use it for something else. But in terms of Cardano staking, it's probably my least favorite in my opinion. All right, so let's take a look at staking pools now. So in general, the thing about staking pools is you always have to keep up with it and do your research. So currently right now, I've been staking my Cardano using the ESTK staking pools. Again, if you guys are not familiar with this website, you can definitely check out adapools.org to check out different staking pools. So you can pretty much use this website to do staking pool research. So in terms of my Cardano, I've been staking using the ESTK pool since April of 2021, I believe. So it's been a few months now. So I've pretty much averaged annualized of 5%. So 5.11% annualized staking rate for Cardano if you're to annualize my staking. And for the month of, I believe this is the 28-day rolling. So for 1 month, my average staking is only roughly 4.8%. What I love about this pool compared to other pools is this pool only requires 1,000 ADA stake. Now, I know other staking pools out there might require 30,000, 100,000. I've even seen pools that require 1 million Cardano in order to stake for their pools. So, if you guys don't have a lot of Cardanos, certainly it might be a hard option for you guys to use the staking pool method. So if you have less than 1,000 Cardano, my opinion for you guys is to use the exchange. So for most exchanges, they don't require a lot of Cardano, such as Binance. They only require 1 ADA, and even Kraken, they don't have a lot of requirements when it comes to staking ADA. So if you don't have a lot of ADA, your only option would be to use exchanges, because if you have less than 1,000 ADA, it's going to be hard to find a really decent pool for less than 1,000. It's possible, but it's going to be hard to find. So if you don't want to spend your research looking for that perfect pool for you, then I would suggest that you use the exchange to stake your Cardano. All right, guys, so let's actually move on to my final conclusion, my final thoughts, and actually look at my Excel spreadsheet that I made here comparing the 5 different ways to stake your Cardano. So again, in terms of staking yields, Binance is the best. I mean, arguably, Binance is the best. Even the 30-day staking requirement for Binance, you get 5% yield even for 30 days. And if you stake it for 90 days, which is currently right now, 90 days is not available, you get that 8% yield. In my opinion, I would only choose Binance if I were to stake, let's say 60 days or more. So currently the 90-day staking is currently closed. So if the 90-day staking was available, I might consider Binance if I was to choose. But the one thing about Binance is for you as investors, it's actually hard to access Binance. So we might need a VPN or we might need Binance US, which again, just the fact that Binance has so much regulations that they're not complying, which in turn is hard for US investors to follow. Binance, for me as a US investor, is just hard for me. If you're not a US investor, I would highly suggest that you guys use Binance, given the fact that it has higher rates. But then again, you're sacrificing security, given that you're staking your Cardano using a third-party website other than using cold storage, such as Daedalus Wallet. Nexo. So for Nexo, if given Nexo's rate of 4 to 6%, it would only be worth it for me if I avail of the 2% bonus of Nexo, because if I'm making 4 or 5% in Nexo versus 5% in a staking pool, I definitely prefer the staking pool. Like, given that I have better security in a staking pool, I can stake my Cardano using cold storage. I definitely prefer using the staking pool if I were to choose between a 4 to 5% rate in Nexo or Kraken. Like, really the only way it'll be worth it for me is if I were to get that extra percentage point in staking yield. So again, you guys have to ask yourself, if your Cardano bag is not that big, let's say your Cardano bag is, let's say, $10,000 worth of Cardano, then an extra percentage point is only roughly $100. So is $100 really worth it for you, compared to using a staking pool and cold storage? If you have a big Cardano bag, let's say 100,000 or more, let's say $1 million worth of Cardano, then it actually might be worth it, the extra percentage point. But if you have a small Cardano bag, then it might just not be worth it. No use for me in terms of staking my Cardano in crypto.com. It's just the rates is really low. Even if you stake 40,000 CROs at 5% staking, it still just barely matches what you would get in a staking pool. So in terms of comparing crypto.com and a staking pool, I definitely prefer staking pool hands down. So pretty much in conclusion, guys, as you guys can see, I do love to stake my Cardano using a staking pool. So currently right now, I have majority of my Cardano in crypto.com. I do plan to move that in the staking pool. Again, as a US investor, it's very hard for me to use Binance right now. So Binance is a hard option for me. So I might consider Kraken. I might consider Nexo. Currently right now, my Nexo account is being verified, so it's not available for me to use right now. So Kraken, I might consider Kraken. But at the moment right now, I choose to stake my Cardano using the Daedalus wallet. Again, I've already made videos on that. So if you guys are interested in checking out that video, I'll definitely leave a link down in the description box below. I decided to go ahead and make a Patreon and made a donation tier level at $1 a month. And I also made a founding tier level. So if you guys are interested in being one of my founders, my 100 founders, you guys will be locked in at that rate forever. So meaning if I choose to have a higher tier in Patreon, a premium tier, whatever I offer my premium tier members as founding members of my page, of my Patreon page, you guys will be able to access that premium tier member when that comes, which I do plan to launch that sometime later this year or early next year. So again, I want to thank you guys in advance if you guys choose to join my Patreon. I definitely appreciate that. It helps support the growth of my content creation here on YouTube. But, any help from you guys in Patreon would be greatly appreciated, guys. So again, hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't liked the video already, definitely like the video down below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll see you guys next time.